Developing safety plans and programs is a crucial part of the safety world to keep workers safe on the job. However, they aren't developed to just sit there in case of an audit to cover your bases. They should be implemented to ensure employees across the organization understand their roles, understand the hazards that they face on the job site, and ultimately understand what it takes to be safe and go home to their families at the end of each day. This begs the question, who's in charge of implementing the program? The competent person. Hi, I'm Sergio with Arthur and Hansen, and today we'll be covering the role of the infamous competent person and their responsibilities within a fall protection program. So as I mentioned, the competent person is responsible for the immediate supervision, implementation, and monitoring of the fall protection program. This competent person is designated by the employer and is typically a supervisor, lead hand, manager, or foreman who is more experienced in fall protection as it relates to the work that the authorized person performs and is in a position of authority. The competent person has many responsibilities, so let's get right into it. For starters, they are responsible for conducting a fall hazard survey to identify all potential fall hazards before the authorized person are exposed to those hazards. This fall hazard survey is the foundation for identifying fall hazards, to then have controls implemented to protect those exposed to them. The competent person must also identify, evaluate, and impose limits on the workplace activities to control fall hazards exposures, including fall swings. These limitations shall be communicated to all employees who are authorized to utilize the fall protection systems. Remember when I said that the competent person is in a position of authority? That position of authority allows the competent person to stop any unsafe work immediately and take prompt corrective measures to mitigate fall hazards. If you have watched our previous video on the program administrator, then you're awesome and I appreciate you. But also, you may remember that they're ultimately responsible for developing, implementing, maintaining, and evaluating the fall protection program. What does this have to do with the competent person? Well, the competent person prepares, updates, reviews, and improves written fall protection procedures as directed by the program administrator. These procedures must be reviewed as workplace activities change to determine if additional practices, procedures, or training is needed. The competent person knows best what is going on at the worksite and whether procedures in place are actually effective. They must also ensure that a written rescue plan has been developed for all fall arrest systems before beginning work. With that being said, it is critical that the competent person is provided with the appropriate resources and assistance as needed to perform these responsibilities. One of the greatest resources available to the competent person are the authorized persons on site, as they are the ones affected by the fall protection procedures being written and/or reviewed. So, if you're a competent person, consult with your authorized persons and obtain as much information, suggestions, and concerns as you can. The competent person is also responsible for specifying the selected fall protection systems within these written fall protection procedures. These include anchorage locations, connecting means, body supports, and other fall protection equipment that authorized persons are required to use when they are exposed to fall hazards. In addition, the competent person must supervise the selection, installation, use, and inspection of non-certified anchorages in consultation with the program administrator and qualified person. And all components of these fall protection systems must be installed and inspected in compliance with ANSI Z359 standards, the manufacturing instructions, and applicable federal, state, and local regulations. And who will make sure all of this checks out? You guessed it, the competent person. Prior to working at Heights, the competent person must verify authorized person training is complete and that all applicable fall protection and rescue procedures have been reviewed. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the competent person is required to review fall protection and rescue procedures each and every time before work begins. The frequency of the review should depend on how often the work is done, its complexity, the skills of the worker, and other factors. Long story short, the concept is that the review should be frequent enough to keep the authorized person adequately informed about the fall protection and rescue procedures for the workplace activities. When an authorized person is using a fall arrest system, the competent person must verify that available fall clearance is adequate before authorized person work at height in the workplace. And should there be an incident relating to falls, the competent person must participate in the investigation process. The competent person must also inspect or ensure inspection occurs for damaged equipment in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions, and those inspections are documented correctly. If any components of a personal fall protection system are found to be damaged or impacted during a fall, the competent person must immediately remove it from service. If you haven't noticed by now, the competent person of a fall protection program has many responsibilities and can be considered the cornerstone of an effective fall protection program. With their ability to anticipate, protect, and prevent injuries and illnesses in the workplace, a competent person should always be on your worksite if you're doing work at Heights. We hope this video has given you a better understanding of what a competent person is and what the responsibilities are within a fall protection program, and how they are ultimately responsible for the immediate supervision, implementation, and monitoring of the fall protection program. Be sure to stay tuned for our next video, as we will cover the authorized person and their duties and responsibilities within a fall protection program. If you need any assistance with your fall protection program or safety program as a whole, feel free to contact us using the information provided below. And if you're watching this video on YouTube and enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like, as it will help the YouTube algorithm, which helps get this video out to more people and help keep them safe. Also, go ahead and press that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos like these. It's completely free. And we want to hear from you in the comments. Does your company have a fall protection program? And what are your responsibilities within it? Do you guys enjoy these videos? And what else would you like to see us cover? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys. And lastly, follow us on all social media platforms to stay updated with our latest safety tips and tricks. And as always, until next time, be safe and thank you.